Now, this question is asked with an anticipation of a negative response. He doesn't expect them to say, yes, we want to go away. He's expecting them to say no. But as he's speaking to them, in reality, what needs to be done at this point is they need to look within themselves. They need to test themselves. Common question. Do you also want to go away? On a personal level, I am thoroughly convinced that each disciple, every one of us in this room who is a believer in Jesus Christ, a follower of Christ, I am thoroughly convinced that every one of us in this room, no less than one time, more than likely many times over a lifetime, will hear this whispered in your ear by the Spirit of God. Do you want to go away? Do you also want to go away? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I can guarantee you, if you've been walking with the Lord for a while, you have heard this question in various forms. It comes through in different ways. It comes through trials sometimes. It can come through testing sometimes. It can come through afflictions or disappointments. It can come through pain. It can come through sorrow. It can come through suffering. It can come in a variety of ways. But the question remains the same. Do you also want to go away? Do you want to walk away from Jesus Christ? Do you want to abandon Him? Do you want to go off into your old life pursuits and the way that you used to think and the things that you used to do? Do you want to do that? Do you want to abandon Him? Do you want to forsake Him? Do you want to flee? Do you want to move on? That question comes in a variety of ways over a lifetime when you're walking with the Lord. I guarantee you, if you haven't had that question asked yet, you're young in your faith, and you will. I promise you that. You will hear this question in one form or another, through the loss of a child, through the loss of a parent, through the loss of a job, through a physical affliction, through a testing, through a sorrow. You will be disappointed. You will not understand God sometimes. And you will hear this question. I guarantee you. You will hear it. Do you also want to go away? It may not come exactly in that form, but it will be there. You will have options. You will begin to weigh those options. And you will begin to ask yourself whether this following Jesus is what you thought it was supposed to be, and whether you're cut out to make the whole journey. Spiritual depth does not come easy. Great faith is a tested faith, and depth comes with great price. Job, in the book of Job, in chapter 23, verses 10 through 12, said this. Job, this great man of God who was tested in a deep way by the Lord, said, He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. My feet have closely followed His steps. I have kept to His way without turning aside. I have not departed from the commands of His lips. I have treasured the words of His mouth more than my daily bread. But He said, when He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. I've held fast to His word, and I will survive in Him. God demands total devotion, not half-hearted curiosity. These people who walked away, they went back and walked with Him no more. They were just curious. God doesn't call us to curiosity. He calls us to devotion. And total openness to God will leave you open to hurts and disappointments. And sometimes you might even be disappointed with the Lord. It's possible to love Him, but not yet understand the ways of God, so that you can get to the point where you begin to question God's love for you, to the degree that you might hear that question being asked of you. Will you also go away? I believe that the Lord allows affliction into our life for a variety of reasons, and one of those is that He might teach us His ways, as well as allow us to see the quality of our faith. But we hold fast to Him, even in the hard sayings, the things we don't understand, because we know that what we don't know now, we will know later. So we trust Him to reveal that to us, and until that moment comes, I know that He's capable of bringing me to the light that He desires me to have. And I've discovered that suffering, affliction is just part of being a Christian. It's part of God's shaping process. It develops you into the person that God desires you to be. It's how God accomplishes the task of conforming you into the image of Jesus Christ. Jesus said it's enough for a disciple that he be like his teacher and a servant like his master. And if Jesus is the wounded healer, what makes me think that I'm not going to go through things myself? And that's what happens. You go through things. But it's in the hard times that you are more sensitive to the presence of God. It's in the difficult times that you begin to pray more fervently, more often, and you invite others to pray for you. It's in the difficult times that you search the Scriptures to find answers to your problems. And that's when you begin to understand some of the Scriptures, like Psalm 119, verse 71, where the psalmist said, "It is good for me that I've been afflicted, that I may learn your statutes." It's good for me that I've gone through this, so that I might learn your statutes. Not just know them in my head, but let it sink deeply into my life, so that my life is transformed. And I actually learn your statutes. I learn through experience the depth of you through the affliction. Charles Spurgeon, a great preacher of another time, said, "If we would be scholars, we must be sufferers. God's commands are best read by eyes wet with tears." What a powerful thought. God's commands are best read with eyes wet with tears. Affliction, suffering, struggle. The common question, do you also want to go away? I've had that question asked in my life more than once. More than once.